about Sam Bankman-Fried's trial, he was convicted. He was found guilty on all charges. Now,
110 years, you guys. But they will not give the so he's convicted on all 7 charges. It's 110 years combined if he gets maximum sentencing, but they might not give him that max sentencing. So I think he could get 25 at least or 20 and stuff like that. That'd be some bullshit. Can you imagine he's like convicted on all 7 charges, 110 years, and they give him like 5 years? Can you imagine? Dang. And definitely hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, you guys. Come on.
this is in one way a vindication for all of the things that I've been promoting, where cryptocurrency was invented to get rid of middlemen. Don't pick up pennies in front of freight trains. Don't give your keys to somebody else. But in another way, it's actually a sad story for crypto, because the bankruptcy, they're just selling the coins. So I don't know how that furthers cryptocurrency or helps the movement. But yeah, so while it's nice that laws exist and they're enforced, and sometimes people that do evil are caught, it's not so nice that they then dump on your head. It's not as great. Maybe there's some upside I'm not thinking about. Yeah, but in the end, when people celebrate cryptocurrencies going bankrupt, like so many that I've warned you about, I warned you about Celsius. They went bankrupt. Mashinsky's in jail. I faced them in live stream.
Sold the top. Sorry. Sorry.
Told them, not your keys, not your coins. This industry was invented to get rid of middleman. You're a middleman. You want to take people's custody away from them. And it's not really custody. That's something else I've been trying to get everyone to use better language. The language that we, people that were so early in cryptocurrency, have used to try and make it easier for new people to understand this, life-changing computer science breakthrough, cutting-edge technology, those shortcuts in language are now being used against the cryptocurrency industry. So when people wanted to understand, what's a wallet? Wallets don't actually exist. It's a lie. It's misleading. In the real world, a wallet is what you put physical things into. In cryptocurrency, there are no physical things. In digital assets, there are no physical things. They're digital. So you can't have a physical representation of something digital like a CD, but that's not what cryptocurrencies are. So if you have a wallet, it's actually a keychain. And you can make a copy of your wallet, and it makes a copy of your keys. And that analogy holds. But the analogy with a normal wallet, can you make a copy of your wallet and does your money get copied? Probably illegal. So, there's a difference between data and...
Now, this part right here that Richard's going to talk into is like pretty important. It's just kind of going into the different types of just language that's used. And sometimes I've even had to do this myself, where I have to explain things wrong, but that way people understand so it's like I'm explaining what's going on anyway at the end result, but I'm not explaining how to get there basically. But it's so like this is how this works and this works. Oh, okay, understood that. And then from there, through like following me, doing the courses and stuff, they're like, oh, I understand the rest of it now. I got it. But it's to get them to understand, like, oh, this is how I do it. So he's really going over quite a lot of your coins never really move. It's just the ownership of the keys is basically what changes. So it's like we're all holding a keychain, but we're using words like custody and my coins removed and this and stuff. That's kind of how it gets into it and stuff like that. So yeah.
Printed currency. There's a difference between data and coins. And so a centralized database that you know a key to is vastly different than having custody of something. Vastly different. And, the government is running into huge problems with misunderstanding. And it's screwing up their execution on the intention to write good rules or good law because they just don't understand the technology. And you guys are part to blame. Yeah, you guys, and even a little bit me. So I said, you heard me use the word custody a minute ago, and then I had to stop myself because you get used to these habits of imprecise language. You cannot custody a cryptocurrency. You can just know a key. And you can't even use that key to move coins, and there aren't coins, and they don't move. They're sitting in the same chain they always were. It's the same database. Database didn't change. You just updated some values in it. So there isn't any such thing as transfer. There isn't any such thing as custody. These are all mistakes of understanding that now are coming to bite the industry, and we have to do better. We have to educate better.
This is going to be really difficult because we've already, like, it's in the vernacular already. We are like, my coins were drained from my wallet. This was doing this. This is doing, and that's the way. So all the UIs and all the wallets lend to that world when that's not really what's happening. But even Richard's like, damn, it's going to be tough to like be able to move away from this. But I don't know what like, hopefully we are able to move it over time and stuff, but this is going to be a really tough call because like what ends up happening is that it isn't like our community is just crypto only users. We're just crypto punks in terms of that, right? Cyberpunks. We're in brackish water. We're getting boomer money. We're getting people that traditionally come from the equity space, people with money and stuff like that. And in the business space, it's been they're used to having accounts on retirement accounts, 401ks, self-directed IRAs, in the traditional world, and we're having to move vernacular around for them, as well as we've had to even though it's not explaining it correctly, like we've been mis-explaining this stuff for so long that it's become the vernacular now, and it's like, fuck, we're in a little bit of a problem there.
So you do not have a wallet. You have a keychain. You cannot custody cryptocurrency. You can only know the key, and you can only update the database. That's it. And here's the funny part. You can't even update the database. The only people that can update the database are miners and validators. So unless you're a miner or validator, you can just ask nicely, or maybe include a fee to somebody to include you in the database. Even knowing the keys doesn't allow you to update the database. So there's so many levels of misunderstanding, and it would be, if there wasn't such an attack on the industry, or if there wasn't so much misunderstanding, and if the misunderstandings weren't being used for evil, it wouldn't be that bad. But they are being used for evil. Elizabeth Warren is in Congress saying that very bad dudes are raising hundreds of millions of dollars with crypto, and then the math gets checked, and no, actually, that was off by almost 100%. It was off by 99%. So you just lied 100x to Congress. That's not good, And who's responsible for that? In part, these people that for a living steal your privacy from you. That's not great. You have a right to be free of unreasonable search and seizure in the United States. It's called the Fourth Amendment. You have a right to privacy by the United Nations and signatories to their documents. You can go on Wikipedia and look up your rights to privacy. You have a right to privacy, and you know who really, really understands the right to privacy? Governments, because they do everything they can to keep stuff private from you. Which is funny, is they're public entities, but you're lucky that a Freedom of Information Act was even passed, and you're lucky that they reply with any documents because, man, governments love their privacy. So and anyone that ever doubts the value of privacy, you're like, well, okay, a couple things. One, I'll have your email password now. Two, I'd like to see your search history. Three, hey, take your clothes off. Let's see what's up. Why not? Since you don't think privacy matters. So if you don't think privacy matters, you're probably not a good human, and you're not in line with what the founding fathers enshrined in the documents that have allowed America to do as well as it has. So, yeah, privacy is a human right, and people that villainize it and demonize it so often have skeletons in their closet that come out when their privacy gets beat. So you're like, hey, isn't that weird? The people that hate privacy the most have so much to hide. Odd. So, yeah, in summary, Sam Bankman-Fried's conviction Probably good for justice. I'm not sure. You know, when you look at the United States and you think here's a nation that has the highest rate of incarceration of any nation in the history of mankind, and you think to yourself, is that good? Because what happens to the people that get put in jail? You pay for people to guard them, you pay to feed them, you pay to house them, you pay to
Look, Richard right now is just trying to fud my prison bags right now. I would just please listen to this with a grain of salt because I have a lot of money in private, prison stocks and stuff like that. So just please be careful, Richard.
clothe them. You pay for a lot of stuff. They're no longer productive members of society by and large. So incarcerating people, it might be good for the prison industrial complex, bottom line profit, but it's probably not so good for society at large. And when you profitize people being in jail, you you want repeat business as a company. So why would you? And they have a fancy word for this. It's called recidivism. I don't even know if I said it right. And it basically means that people that commit crime and go to jail are more likely to return and be repeat customers for the prison industrial complex. In the United States, there was actually a judge that went to jail in a scandal called Kids for Profit or something, where he would get paid by the kid that he sent to juvenile prison. If you can put if you can put a judge in jail, man, he must have really made some bad errors. And it happens, right? It's just like you saw in Ross Ulbricht's case. The FBI tried to steal his coins and flee the country. Literally, the FBI agents. People forget this. You're like, hey, wait a second. That's not enforcing the law. What's going on here? So I don't think that the Sam Bankman-Fried case is it's a partial victory in that a bad guy isn't able to do bad as much as he was. So that's nice. It's not really a victory for the prices of those cryptocurrencies that are being dumped by the bankruptcy trustees, and it's not a victory for public awareness of crypto because everyone associated Sam Bankman-Fried with crypto. They could have as easily associated him with funding Democrats because that's what he did with so many hundreds of millions of dollars